Hey everyone. Okay, so continuing on with our conversations around domestic violence, of course, first of all, I have to disclose trigger warning because we are going to talk about some potential tender topics. Now, I put a video out recently asking how do you want and need support maybe for yourself or for someone that you know, because we have to be the change that we want to see in the world, and there's particular things that you guys wanted to hear about. Now, first of all, something that came up multiple times was, what do you do if someone has a mental health problem, which is one of the contributing factors as to why they behave the way they do? There's a few things I want to point out with this. Number one, it does not matter whether it's a male or a female that has a mental health problem. Mental health is never, ever an excuse to hurt, harm, mistreat, or abuse anyone, full stop, period. Okay? There is absolutely nothing that you can say, oh, that's acceptable, because it should never come into the stratosphere. It should never come into the conversation when we talk about domestic violence, and not just the physical harm, but all of the other ways in which people can experience domestic violence. And I will have a list below that you can refer to, because remember that physical violence is only one piece of the puzzle that makes up what happens in domestic violence situations, guys. I'm going to say it again. Mental health is never, ever a reason why someone gets to hurt, harm, abuse you in any way, shape, or form. It does not matter whether it's a partner, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend. It doesn't matter how that comes about. Mental health is never an acceptable excuse. And I think this is really important because I've heard this a lot, and I've even gone through it in my own personal life, where mental health was sort of the umbrella, if you will, as to why they had poor behavior, and it should never be acceptable. The bottom line is mental health, yes, it's a huge problem, but there are so many professionals out there with a plethora of different tools and techniques and strategies to use. So there is a lot of help out there. Yes, you can support someone if it feels safe to do so, to get the help that they need, but it never excuses that type of abusive behavior. So no, mental health is never ever an acceptable excuse as to why someone is mistreating you. And I can't emphasize that enough, because that's come up a lot with the mental health conversation, and I want you to know it's not a thing. So please don't think it is. I have some more clips to answer a lot of the questions and tips with advice that you guys can have moving forward as well. But I felt this is super important to have on its own. Please remember, mental health gets to be addressed, and people need to take responsibility for themselves, for their actions, for their words, and that is never an excuse for domestic violence. And I will talk with you guys again really soon.